surround yourself with people who encourage a healthy lifestyle, you're setting yourself up for success. Yo! Today on Staying Fertile AF, I want to talk about some key factors that have an effect on our fertility, like lifestyle, environmental exposures, health conditions, and even society's expectations. You heard it right. Some of these you might already be aware of, like age. It's pretty much all we hear about when it comes to defining how fertile we are. But there's some others that we don't talk about enough. I've been on this journey learning about fertility, and I'm breaking down everything I know. So let's get into it. Number 1, age. Age is always the first thing people throw at us when it comes to fertility. And ladies, if you tell me that you didn't panic when you're about to hit 30, BS. Whether you want kids or not, that feeling is unavoidable. Don't come and tell me that no, you're not stressed. Even if it's low-key, you felt it. It's like, who wants to close the door on something that might not even be on your radar right now? Like, nobody wants to close doors. And it's the whole what if that gets us, right? This panic probably started creeping in your 20s. I know it sure did for me. The panic doesn't automatically stop. It continues, I'm assuming, as we approach 35, 40, and I'm sure you have a lot of people asking you, are you dating? Do you have a boyfriend? Have you met the right person yet? When are you gonna have kids? As if somehow we ourselves have forgotten how old we are. Like, thanks, I'm definitely not aware of how old I am and my reproductive timeline. Here's what I want you to understand. Age does matter, but it's not the only thing that defines fertility. We have so much more control over our bodies than people think. Fertility is about more than just a number. It's all about how we take care of ourselves, the choices that we make, the people we surround ourselves with, and how proactive we are in making the best lives for ourselves. Did you know that only 1% of couples are truly infertile? 1%. What are the chances it's going to be you? Very small. That means that the vast majority of us still have a really strong chance in being able to conceive. So yes, age plays a role here, but 90% of couples between the ages of 35 and 39 can conceive naturally within 2 years if they don't give up and they stay informed and educated on how to do this most effectively. Fertility isn't just on a timeline, and age isn't the only thing that controls you. Your actions do. That's why Staying Fertile AF is here to show you what choices you can make to keep you fertile longer, so you can live your dream life on your terms without this fear of a doom clock. You've got more control than you think. And here's another thing no one talks about. Being an older parent comes with major advantages. The older we get, the more life experience we have, obviously. And that makes us wiser, often more emotionally prepared for parenthood. We've had time to grow, mature, and figure ourselves out. And importantly, many of us are in better financial positions, which makes a world of a difference when having kids. Let's face it, money doesn't buy happiness necessarily, but it definitely makes things easier. Money, 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 money. Whether it's being able to provide more opportunities for your children or removing the stresses over everyday expenses, being financially stable can create a more balanced and peaceful environment for both you and your family. Another plus, older parents usually have more patience and perspective and a better sense of self, which makes them even more equipped in raising kids in a thoughtful way. So if people are questioning why you're choosing to have kids later, remember this. Being older and wiser has so many advantages. You're not just bringing a baby into this world. You're welcoming them into a life rooted with experience, stability, and genuine wisdom. And here's the thing. The greatest gift you can give to humanity, yeah, we're deeping it, isn't wealth, but it's the people who will shape the future. This is essentially called human capital. Innovators, creators, and dreamers. That's the real wealth of the world. With fewer people, we lose problem solvers, we have fewer thinkers, and fewer hands to take on the real challenges ahead. A world without enough of us to lead, build, and innovate? Yeah, no thanks. That's not a future I want. Let's invest in a future by making sure there is one, by staying fertile AF. Have babies. Number 2, lifestyle. What you do matters more than you think. We all know that how we live our day-to-day affects our overall health. But what a lot of people don't realize is just how much it affects our fertility. If your lifestyle choices affects your fitness and mental health, then it obviously makes sense that it's going to shape our fertility. I recently finished this book, Outlive, by Peter Attia. I actually made my friends read this for my birthday as like a book club birthday party. That was actually really fun. So shout out to any of my friends who read the book and discussed it with me. Anyways, Outlive. Peter Attia dives deep into the idea of optimizing health for the long run. It's all about making smart, healthier choices today in order for setting ourselves up for a longer, healthier life. Who doesn't want that? Great book, highly recommend. Peter Attia calls this Medicine 3.0. Instead of waiting for health problems or health issues to show up, Medicine 3.0 is all about prevention, making the smart choices today to optimize health for the long haul. And this book has really inspired me to think that we should apply the same mindset to fertility. And this is how we stay fertile AF. If we apply the Medicine 3.0 concept to fertility, then it's all about making the right lifestyle choices today to extend our fertility for the future. The way we treat our bodies today will directly affect how fertile we are down the line. I would say a negative lifestyle includes things like drinking too much, smoking, partying, not sleeping enough, constant stress, and even toxic relationships. But let's flip that around. What happens when we remove unhealthy stress? If we get enough sleep, drink in moderation, and surround ourselves with healthy, loving, productive people? This isn't just about cutting out the bad stuff. We gotta make sure to include the good habits too. They make a big difference. Reducing stress, sleeping enough, staying active, choosing and maintaining healthy, fulfilling relationships. All these things matter. They say that the 5 people you're closest to is who you kind of become, and they influence your life the most. And I believe that's true for fertility as well. If you surround yourself with people who encourage a healthy lifestyle, you're setting yourself up for success. It's said that you can enjoy alcohol in moderation, but it also has its drawbacks, like empty calories and slowing down fat oxidation. This is the process of your body breaking down fat. Attia recommends no more than 7 drinks per week and no more than 2 drinks per day for long-term health. Too much alcohol is said to seriously impact your chances of conceiving. Studies show that alcohol affects hormones and ovulation, making it harder to time sex for conception. Even light drinking can affect the time it takes to get pregnant. Heavy drinking, which is defined as consuming 7 or more drinks a week or more than 3 drinks in one sitting, is linked to irregular periods and infertility, and it can lead to heavy or inconsistent cycles, which obviously makes conception even harder. Lol, maybe that's why my cycles are so irregular. I'm not saying I'm a heavy drinker, but like, just the thought, yikes. I could definitely had nights where I've had more than 3 drinks in one sitting. This is interesting. One thing that we often overlook is the importance of quality sleep. Attia argues that sleep is just as important, if not more, than exercise when it comes to overall well-being. It's best to aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night because how well you sleep directly impacts your hormonal balance and fertility. Some tips for better sleep: reduce blue light exposure before bed, lower your room temperature, so open the window, turn down the heat, and cut back on caffeine and alcohol. For example, I drink 1 cup of coffee a day and not after 2 p.m. That's my no caffeine limit. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. Women's eggs that are in their ovaries are constantly developing. That process is called oogenesis, and it takes months. So the choices we make today affect our egg quality months down the line. You can't just decide to be healthy when you're ready to conceive. It's all about consistently taking care of yourselves over months, even years, to ensure the best quality eggs. And let's not forget the guys. Sperm quality matters just as much. Factors like smoking, alcohol, poor diet, not exercising, not sleeping enough can seriously impact your sperm count and motility. Men's lifestyle choices directly impact their ability to contribute to conception. Staying fertile AF is all about making the right choices today to take control of your future. The choices we make in our diet, exercise, our relationships aren't just about the present. It's about making sure we have the best shot at long-term fertility. Just like Attia's concept of Medicine 3.0, it's about thinking ahead and making smart moves to outlive fertility challenges. 3. Environmental exposures. Another potential fertility blocker. This next one is something I catch myself trying to minimize every single day. Unhealthy environmental exposures. Everything I touch, everything I breathe, everything I use, I'm conscious of it. It might be a little bit of an OCD thing, but I'm constantly thinking about these things. I feel like I always knew that things like plastic and pollution isn't great for your health, but I never realized the extent of how it messes with your hormones and it impacts fertility. Isn't that crazy? It's honestly kind of gross when you think about it. Let's start with BPA, or bisphenol A. It's a chemical and hormone disruptor used to make certain plastics and resins found in things like water bottles, food containers, and even receipts, at least in places like the US. In the EU, BPAs have actually been banned in things like thermal paper receipts since January 2020, although it's still allowed in specific food containers and water bottles. Basically, if you're handling anything anything plastic, there's a good chance there's BPA in it, unless it's specifically stated there isn't. Research shows that BPA is linked to fertility problems, and in a lot of cases when it comes to IVF outcomes and success. And there's also evidence suggesting that it may be connected to conditions like PCOS. While its research on its other links to other issues, such as endometriosis, isn't conclusive, it still says that it's best to limit exposures to BPAs to be on the safe side. BPA has been found to interrupt male fertility by interfering with hormone binding, reducing sperm motility, altering reproductive organ health, and affecting testes mitochondrial activity. This is crucial for healthy sperm. These effects together can make it harder for men to have children. Andrew Huberman also recently talked about this in one of his podcasts about how microplastics have been found in men's testes, and this is linked to reduced sperm and motility. The fact that something so small as a microscopic piece of plastic can mess up something so important is insane. My friend also sent me an article about how they found microplastics in the placenta. The thing that's growing the baby is filled with plastics. Like, this cannot be good. It's made me realize that even though I'm pretty conscious about the plastic that surrounds me in my everyday life, there's still so many places that it rocks up without me even knowing. I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm conscious about what I'm touching and what I'm interacting with, and trying to make some changes to avoid as much BPA and plastics and unhealthy things as possible. For starters, polyester clothes, ew. Not only are they just awful, but they make you sweat, they smell bad, and they're filled with plastics. I way prefer to stick to linen, cotton, wool, silk, because they just feel better and they aren't full of plastics. The same goes for picking fruit and vegetables at the supermarket. I refuse to use those plastic bags that you can put your fruit, apples, potatoes, and stuff in. I just don't like them. I grab my tomatoes, I grab my bananas, or whatever loose fruit and vegetables, and I just put them in the cart. No bag. I usually always bring a reusable shopping bag, but sometimes I forget. But I picked up this really neat trick in Germany. People here actually take the empty cardboard boxes, that stores all the fruit and vegetables, and they put all the groceries in that and then take that home. And I think that's really smart because it's cardboard, it's paper, better than plastic, and then you don't need to spend money on another reusable bag. You don't need to have an extra bag at home where you probably already have so many. It's just a really neat trick. It's a non-plastic alternative, and it really speaks to my low-key OCD in the store about, plastic bags to put your food in. A cardboard box instead of buying a bag? Yes, please. Some other things that I do, and if you're looking to cut down on plastics and make some swaps, this is what I do. For an affordable water bottle alternative, I was using this Voss bottle for a very long time. It's glass. Sure, it may be like €8 to buy in the store, which sounds quite expensive, but then it's a long-term durable water bottle, then it's not so expensive. And it's got minimal plastic. Yeah, the top is plastic, but the rest is glass. And what water bottles don't have much plastic in them anyways. I don't know that many, but this is kind of a good alternative. Recently, I've also upgraded to my Lark PureViz 2. It's BPA free, so there are some parts that have plastic, but they're BPA free, so that's obviously way better. It's also metal, and it's my on-the-go water bottle, and it filters your water, so I highly recommend Lark PureViz 2. I'm loving it so far. It's arguably the best water bottle out there. At home, I use a Lark jug to filter my water. Again, it's made of this plastic material, but it's BPA free as well. I think it's a really good choice. Just to be clear, none of this is sponsored. It's just things that have worked for me and I'm really happy with, so I just kind of want to share that with you. Super cool products, and these are just simple things that I like to incorporate into my everyday life. Something else I do, I'm kind of weird, but I like drinking from straws most of my drinks, so I have glass straws at home. They're good alternatives. I think they're also really cute and pretty, but that I'm not using paper or plastic or anything else. Glass straws all the way. Very durable, very handy, easy to clean, and they're healthier. I've also switched to glass and wooden containers. This is glass, this is bamboo top. There's a little bit of silicone here. However, oof, that cheese smells. It's just a better alternative than storing all your food in plastic. And they're also pretty. I just think glass looks prettier. It's just a win-win all the way through. And yeah, like I said, reusable shopping bags when you go to the store, made of cotton, made of wool, silk, anything but not plastic, nothing LSD, no polyester, none of that shit. And if you forget one of these, grab one of those cardboard boxes in the supermarket. It's the best plastic-free, sustainable hack that I've come across. Love it. Here are some other easy changes you can do that I've seen online. It's just, good ways to try and minimize plastic. I've also started thinking about all the products I have in my shower, all plastic. The shampoo, the soap, the conditioner, the body scrub, my head massager, everything is just plastic. While it's impossible to remove it all from your life, it's good to make small changes, notice it where you can, and try swap it out whenever you can. And I get it, making all these changes at once can be overwhelming, but making small swaps can add to a big impact in the long run. Less plastics in your life means less exposure to things that can mess up your body or mess up your fertility, and that's vital. Number 4, underlying health conditions. Now, let's talk about underlying health conditions. Things you might not even know are affecting your fertility. For example, polycystic ovary syndrome. This affects around 8 to 13% of women of reproductive age, according to the WHO. This condition can lead to irregular cycles or even stop ovulation completely, making it much harder to conceive. Then there's endometriosis, which affects 5 to 10% of women and can cause a lot of pain and inflammation, and this can affect fertility. It's wild actually how common these conditions are, but many women aren't even aware of them, and they don't even realize they have them until they start to conceive. Some people find out they have these conditions after years of dealing with irregular cycles, period pains, thinking it's normal. That's why I'm learning to take action now, really finding out what could prevent me from being able to have kids later in life. And I think regular checkups and understanding your body can really help to spot these things early. Here's another thing. Everyone's cycle is different. When I googled factors that affect fertility, the first thing that came up was the Fertility Network UK, and it states, most women have a 28-day menstrual cycle. And I literally sat here thinking, is that really true? Or is that just oversimplified? For me, my cycle can range between 26 and 45 days. And I know I'm not alone in this. I'm sure there's some women out there who have a perfect 28-day cycle every single month, and they've had it every single month since they were 13 or since whenever they started their period for the first time, right? But I'm pretty sure most of us are a little bit more complex than that. And I feel the same about tracking apps. The issue with those is that they often like to first show us our average cycle length, which doesn't really paint a full picture, at least on my mind. If 1 month my cycle is 27 days, and then it's 29, and then the one after that it's 30, averaging them doesn't really tell me when I'm ovulating or what's really going on with my body. That's because then each stage of my cycle doesn't stay the same. So I feel like relying on an average can mean missing out on some key changes. And by the way, ovulation only lasts about 12 to 24 hours. That's a tiny window. So if my cycle shifts even 1, 2, or 4 days, my ovulation day shifts too. So trusting my average number when the ovulation window is so short is just crap. That's why I think it's so important to take control of your own fertility and your health. Start by paying close attention to your body. Track your cycle, look for patterns, and try to figure out what it all means. It's not just coincidence. So whether you do this through a healthcare provider, personal research, or even honest conversations with women, it all starts with truly understanding yourself. And if you notice your cycle differs a lot from month to month, it's worth checking with a professional to make sure that everything is okay and on track and that there are no underlying health conditions. I definitely need to do this since I'm starting to realize how irregular my periods actually are. Don't wait until you're ready to have kids to think about your reproductive health. Knowing what's going on in your body now can help you plan for your optimal future. Fertility is so much more than just age. It's about lifestyle, the environment, and knowing what's going on with your overall health. Let me know in the comments below, what's one thing you're doing to take control of your fertility journey? Mine is apparently taking cardboard boxes in the supermarkets for my food. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Until next time, stay conscious, stay healthy, and stay fertile AF.